Hi, Bill Yannick here, ConnexFM CEO. Welcome to the Daily Grind. Today we're going to talk about an interesting topic that's probably maybe not top of mind. We're going to talk about parking lot striping. And we have a subject matter expert from G-Force. He's John Kling, very highly engaged ConnexFM member. John, welcome to the Daily Grind.
Hey, thank you so much for having us. We appreciate being on the Daily Grind today, and I look forward to being able to talk with you a little bit more.
Yeah, and off camera we talked. We're both in the DFW area, so we're basically yelling across a parking lot here. So, John, why don't we start with an intro of who you are and what G-Force is all about?
Excellent, thank you. Yes, so I'm John Kling. I'm the Vice President of Operations for all of G-Force. What G-Force is G-Force is a veteran-only franchise group, one of its kind, if you will, especially in the pavement marking industry. So we only sell franchises to veterans, and so all of our locations are owned by veterans. We've got 41 locations throughout the U.S., and our main focus is parking lot striping. A lot of our locations do seal coating, different things to improve your parking lot and kind of allow it to be your welcome mat, if you will, for your business. And so that's in an essence, elevator pitch, if you will. That's what G-Force is. That's what we're about. We love to be able to give back to the veteran community, and that's where Jack Child, he thought of this and rolled it out, and it's exploded over the last 4 years.
That's great. Okay, so when we talk striping, I mentioned that this is sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind, right? Or you know it when it's not right. So let's start with that. If you have a lack of striping, that's either it's worn out or it's not helping the welcome mat, as you mentioned. How does that impact a business?
Well, I like to explain that your parking lot, and we've used this reference already, and I apologize, but it truly is. It's the welcome mat for your business. So a lot of times it is, in essence, a kind of reflection of what somebody may see, what the inside of your business looks like. So if it's faded, if it's worn, if it's incorrect, it doesn't give the illusion that inside is nice and orderly, which isn't always the case, but you want to give that perception from the outside in. You want to give the whole customer experience. You want to be able to give them, from the time they get to the parking lot to the time they walk in, the time they check out, and the time they leave, a good experience. And a lot of times it's not front of mind. It's not one of the things that you think of when you're putting in capital expenditure budgets. This is not what you think of. This is one of those, oh no, we need to fix this because it's broken now, and the city is giving us fines, or there's potholes, we're getting complaints. Nobody stays in front of it. It's always one of those defensive maneuvers, not offensive.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you a great lead into my next question, because you talked about the aesthetics of it, and you want a great picture of your business, and you want your clients and customers to be happy. But there's also real world penalties that can be involved when you talk ADA, and there are requirements ADA wise. What are some, I guess, potential pitfalls you've seen, or maybe mistakes made, or ADA violations that are out there that need to be remedied?
100%. So a lot of what we see is when people do, specific to talking about ADA, you may need van accessible stalls, and sometimes those aren't put into the layout of your parking lot, and sometimes grandfathered use does not apply anymore. So some of these, you are at an infraction, and you can be subject to some sort of fine because you don't meet those requirements. But also, one of the things that we see more often than that, is slip and fall. What happens is, if you think about it, you've got a giant box that has an ADA sign. Typically it's blue with a white stencil of the handicap symbol. It's the universal handicap symbol. And those can be very, very, very slippery when they get wet. So a lot of times companies, they go for the least expensive option to get their company or their parking lot up to code, and they don't go the extra mile, if you will, to put in traction additives. Well, not necessarily an additive, but traction, like a item that we use is called shark grip. We put that in our ADA symbols so that it prevents slip and fall, and which also prevents your business parking lot from being subject to a potential lawsuit of slip and fall accidents. That's one of the biggest things that we see that business owners run into are slip and fall accidents.
Wow, how ironic that you could be doing the right thing, trying to do the right thing, but if you go a certain way, you could be setting yourself up to big time lawsuit liability. Okay, so I know somebody out there will see this episode and say, we need to get this done or get our parking lot striping updated or to begin with, ADA compliant. What are some steps they should take to prepare to get their parking lots in order in this way?
So it depends upon the contractor. It depends upon the type of parking lot. But what I always like to give an analogy of trying to paint your house. If you are trying to paint your house and there's peeling paint, there's dust on the walls, there's dirt and grime, if you will, and you try to paint, it's never going to stick.
Yep.
And it's the same way with your parking lot, whether you're striping or you're seal coating or even doing an asphalt patch. If you don't prep it properly, it's never going to stay. If you prep it properly, with normal wear and proper application, it can last for a while. And so I always recommend, obviously, blowing it off, wire brush where needed, brushing it off in general, and even pressure washing. Pressure washing gets off things that you can't necessarily get done with a broom or a brush. Pressure washing it gets all of the dirt and the grime off, because if you think all the chemicals that cars leak, oil, transmission fluid, antifreeze, it's all over your parking lot. You've got to get that cleaned up properly in order for all the striping and seal coating to adhere properly. You're only as good as your canvas, I guess.
Good stuff. Okay, before we let you go, if you've checked out, and our audience, hopefully you'll go out and check out G-Force on LinkedIn. You got a cool promo going with our national conference, which will be here in a couple short months. What do you have? And it's a link to the military, which is really cool too. So John, what do you have going on at national conference?
So we are very excited. We have got Top Gun Maverick coming to take photos with us at our booth, and he will be there at 11:30 to 3:30 on the 5th. And so he'll be at our booth 1619. And we encourage everybody to come and take some selfies, take some pictures with him, talk to us, let us get to know you and how we may be able to help you throughout the country, and being able to enjoy some selfies with Top Gun Maverick.
Awesome. Well, John, we look forward to seeing you in person again at our national conference. For our audience out there, go to ConnexFM.com to get registered. The exhibition floor is just about sold out, and our number of attendees continues to grow. It's going to be a great event. And thanks again to G-Force and all they do for veterans and for ConnexFM. For our audience out there, check out the Daily Grind at ConnexFM.com. That's your Daily Grind. Have a good one.